Welcome to Part of the Arts with me, Rebecca Godden. With us on this episode is Jordan Hiscott. Jordan is a versatile actor presenter with over a decade of experience in the arts. Known for his engaging presence and enthusiastic contributions where he has worked, he has a real passion for storytelling and a willingness to learn. Jordan's work has adapted over the years to survive in this industry, ranging from many different disciplines and subjects that you'll find about in this episode. Over the next few years, he hopes to continue this trend, and he'll always aim to be the best version of himself that he can be. Now, we realise the levels in the sound on this one fluctuate, so please do bear with us whilst you enjoy this open, honest chat with Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Hello, Becca.
Welcome to Part of the Art.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's a bit personal, isn't it?
Setting the tone for the podcast
You're welcome.
already.
You're welcome.
We love this. Okay, so I asked you to think of an icebreaker for
You did.
the podcast.
Yes.
So I start the podcast every time with this. So in the arts, in the industry, we are often oversharers.
Yes.
Saying either the first thing that comes to our mind,
Yep.
or saying something with brutal honesty.
Yep.
Or maybe the opposite. I've had someone recently saying that they keep too much to themselves because they're trying to be too professional. I don't feel that way.
I think you should wear your heart on your sleeve as much as you do in life anyway, because that's what you're hired for. Your personality, your individuality.
100%.
So own it.
I love that. 100%.
You're welcome. See?
So what is your thing then? What was the last thing you said that you were like, yeah, Jordan, that should have stayed in my mind?
Do you know what? And I remember this one so clearly. So when I read your question, I was like, oh no. So I was working at my job, and I had someone new with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we've got to start conversations, haven't we? We've got to try and break the ice. I said to them, you give me something and I'll give you something. I cannot remember theirs, but I thought it was, it was like media. So I was like, well, I think I've had a tapeworm. Or some sort of description of it. I was there like, it's just one of those weird things when I was so much younger, and I was like, Mum, what on earth is this in the toilet?
Oh my goodness.
And I was just there like, this isn't normal. I shouldn't have...
So
I don't know.
The first thing you shared with someone that you just met was, I think I've got a tapeworm.
Exactly. And you know when you just think, what the actual hell have I just said to someone who's not much younger than me, but still younger than me? They're new to the job, and I was just like... Yeah. Did
they even know what it was? Did they, know
to a degree,
what a tapeworm was?
They sort of heard about these things.
You were opening their innocent eyes.
Yeah, in many ways. I just really, but it was instant regret. Instant regret of all the things that... And the thing is, I've not spoken about something like this for years. I've known you for a while. Have I ever mentioned it? My brain went, let's talk nicely to this person. By the way, I've had this thing come flying out my ass. How do you see me now in this light?
I have no words.
You have no words.
Okay, so that is probably something that should have definitely stayed in your mind and was a social faux pas. Right, yep. Not something you share with someone that you've just met.
No.
Now this is a bit nicer. This is also on the last thing, but the last thing that you saw that gave you a spark within the arts, so within our industry. It could be television, a movie, a play, outdoor theatre, a song, a band. It could be anything. So when we talk about the arts, we're talking about all of it.
Okay.
The last piece of art that you saw, that you thought, do you know what, that's evoked something in me.
Oh, do you know what? Yes, I actually do know something. I was trying to think through the examples of what I've seen recently, and saw Grease at the Mayflower. Did not spark anything.
I mean, yeah, okay.
I was so excited for that, and sorry, I'm not here to review the Mayflower's Grease, because it's not Mayflower's Grease, it's Torrance.
Just Grease.
It's just Grease. It's Grease. I shouldn't say that.
Maybe you've just seen it before. It's been done.
But the thing is, I hadn't seen it in ages, so I was really hyped for it, and I was just like, the other thing I thought, I did see a couple of bands recently, and they were college bands. And I thought, me and Elizabeth haven't gone out for ages, so maybe we'll just see what it's like. Because it's been ages.
I love live music. So.
Yeah, although there was this one band, and they were the headliners, and they were debuting their album. And when they came out in Hawaiian shirts, ties on, and they had like a 3-minute intro.
Was it were they trying to be quirky and cool?
Oh,
for the
God,
sake of being
yes.
quirky and cool?
God, yes.
Like they thought they were funny.
Yeah, they thought they were edgy. They thought
Yeah.
they were avant-garde. So
Avant-garde.
So and then when they started, 3-minute intro, then they started doing a little bit of riffing, and then afterwards the lyrics came out going, Rachel's going down under. Rachel's going down under. Rachel's going down under. And me and Elizabeth walked out.
And I was going to be like, I'm leaving. Jordan is leaving. Jordan is leaving.
I've never walked out of some band live music before, but that's the first. But what did inspire me, what did spark me, and I cannot believe, of all the places, me and Elizabeth went to Winchester Science Museum. It was amazing. It was incredible because I have not been to the planetarium.
No.
So that was insane. The stars, the planets. Also, is it Ewan McGregor? He was narrating one of the videos, and I was like, they got him in.
What a voice.
It's such a good voice. So good. I felt that.
That's who Nick gets told he looks like.
I can see that.
Anyway, side note.
Oh, fair. The thing that inspired me, and when you go at the bottom level, it's all astronaut, space, NASA kind of vibes. There's a little hidden room. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's nice and sensory, disco lights above, and there's this animation, this beautiful animation of a satellite orbiting around. I can't remember the storyline or its history. It obviously did happen, but the way it was told was so
storytelling.
The storytelling was incredible. It was just so beautiful, and me and Elizabeth watched the entire thing. We had to go because we had booked tickets for Planetarium, but I
wanted to stay.
God, yes. Of all the things, like the place is great, and obviously it's great for sensory needs for children. There's so much things to do, but this one thing, I was glued to the screen. I was like, I can't leave it.
So now you've shamed me the fact that I live near it and I've never been. But I feel like that's the thing though, isn't it? When you live somewhere, you don't go to the things that are on your doorstep. Yeah. But I really want to go from that description.
Please go. Just go.
It sounds really magical.
Book the planetarium.
Yeah.
Definitely book the planetarium.
Well, they do like evenings, don't they?
They do. There's
like date night evenings.
Yeah, there's cinema in the planetarium. There's Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon that's happening. I think I saw Led Zeppelin and other things. But again, we didn't know anything about this until we went, because Elizabeth said, I just want to go, and I was like, yeah, sure. And mine's been opened.
Oh, I love that. Spark. And I love that when actually, if you go to something that you've not booked, and someone's like, I really want to go to this, and you're a bit like, okay, maybe it'll be all right. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, I'm so glad I went, thank you. And also, I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like, as the one in my relationship who works in the art, I'm relied on a lot of the time to find us stuff to go and see or do, or it's that kind of like, it's my job to make sure we go and see something good, and I don't always want to do that.
No, of course not.
I'm creating it as well.
We want to be immersed as well, right?
Exactly. And if I'm always seeking things out, you kind of feel like it's a bit of a job sometimes. Yes.
Well, do you know what? Elizabeth's not so bad, but my parents and in-laws...
They're like, you work in the industry.
They're like, what is kind of that thing, the Christmas presents coming up. I always buy the events, the immersive experience and things. Yeah. And they always love it.
But it's like on you.
Yes, of course.
Well, well done to Elizabeth, to your partner. Shout out, Elizabeth.
Shout out.
To the planetarium. I feel like we should be sponsored by them now.
We should. Sponsor us now.
Sponsor us now. Talking about Elizabeth, and this question is about your nearest and dearest.
Lovely.
So those around you.
We're divorcing.
Who's getting the dog who's sat by our
You can split him in half. As long as I get the backside, he's wonky at the head.
Oh, he is wonky, but he's gorgeous. He's being a very good boy underneath. Good. So how do your nearest and dearest describe what you do for work? So I'm thinking your great aunt, your nan. I'm thinking of these people in your life. Are you a bit of a Chandler Bing of your family where no one really knows what you do or why you do it?
Okay. First of all, before we start, can you repeat that friend's character's name again? Because I love the way you said it.
Why?
Just do it.
Okay.
Just do it again.
Chandler Bing.
Do you know what? It's always the weirdest conversations I have with my family trying to explain what I'm doing. Yeah. How I do it. And how they explain me. They say, how's the dinosaurs? And I'm like, they're good.
For context,
yes.
What does that mean?
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this out loud because of company policies.
Maybe don't say the company. Just
no, I do work with animals in terms of dinosaurs and other characters every day. I do say hello to them. So yeah, but when you try and explain that to people and they sort of go, "Oh, the dinosaurs,"
and you're like,
yeah. And do you know what? Something else, and you might find this actually as well. Okay. family who you see often or not often, they fixate on something. So
Yes.
every time you see them, like 3 months around, they'll always say, how's this?
Yeah.
How's this?
One thing out of the
One
million.
thing out of a million things.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Snan, every time I see her for the last 3 years,
Aw.
how are the meerkats?
Aw.
I've not looked after meerkats or interacted with meerkats for years.
Do you just say,
Yeah.
they're good?
Yeah, they're fine. They're great.
They're having a great time.
They're great. They're having a mob.
Having them all, they're getting fed.
But trying to describe to my great aunt or my nan, because I love them dearly and I see them quite often. It's impossible. It's impossible to try and say. Like the one I was going to say to you for like one of the questions for later on. When you try to describe that job to them, they're like,
Yeah.
"You can't do that, Joe. You can't be around the devil. You can't be around him. No, what about your soul?" And I'm like,
And you're like, well, it's a character.
It's a character.
I'm playing a character. It's a make-believe world. It's not real.
Exactly.
And I think, yeah, it's like, I think, I don't know about you, but I find it exhausting sometimes with family members as well, because our careers are a big part of our life. Like, we live and breathe what we do.
It's all we think about to a degree.
Exactly. It's not your 9 to 5. It's not your, do the job and leave it at the door. We're in it. So it's a big part of me. So sometimes I find it quite difficult if I can't express that and talk about that, because you're like, well, what else have I been doing?
If you have time for anything else.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, oh, well, I did this and this and this for work, and it's all work, and then people think I'm like a workaholic, and I'm like, well, no, because I love it.
Yeah, it's
I
a
wouldn't
career.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it strange how you talk to them as well, and how different things change very quickly? They say to you, what are you up to? And I say this, and they're like, when did you start doing that?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And you're just there like, I've been for ages.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's just doing that. Like, I'm just doing that now, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And that's what I do love about this.
What is the oddest or strangest job you've ever done?
Okay.
And can you tell us about that? This
Oh,
can be
absolutely
part of your craft,
Yeah.
Part of your acting,
Yeah.
part of your directing, anything like that. But it could also just be like one of the filler jobs you've done. Or if you've got one of each, that's also great. So, yeah. Let me hear it.
Okay, all right. Prepare to immerse yourself. Cast
I'm ready.
yourself. We're in Chichester.
Okay.
It's
lovely city.
lovely place.
Lovely
Do
city.
you know what is the program called for the BBC? The workshop one, where people take items in to be totted up, brought to life.
I know what you mean.
It's
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So the studio for that is around the corner there, but around it is some lovely, not medieval but period houses.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous, lovely fields, and open public space.
Okay, so this public is very important to the
yes.
story. Okay.
I got the casting call for it saying we need people in to fill out numerous roles, etc. I was like, yeah, great, cool, money was great. And they said, are you okay with witch trials, hangings and things like that? And I was like, yeah.
And you were like, great. I thought you were going to say, are you okay with nudity?
God, don't. I had one of those recently.
So
and I
there
was
we
like,
go.
Yeah.
So at least you were like, great, this isn't nudity. Absolutely,
I was like,
fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we get to this one. And they dress me up in the only thing I can describe as like a budget Snape.
Oh.
Yeah, Wish style Snape. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm like, whatever. And
whatever, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I'm getting paid well.
Exactly.
No one can see my face.
Exactly.
No one will know it's me.
NDA? What's an NDA? It's come out now, so no one cares. So anyways, they said, right, for the first scene, the devil's going to be in the field. They're taking this character through. They're trying to lure them into devil worshipping. I'm like, okay. Right, okay.
That's
and then they're
deep.
like, yeah, and this is like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Have you had your coffee yet?
No.
Oh.
No.
Right.
I just arrived, and you know how it's like no icebreakers, like, hi, how you doing? Hello.
Be the devil.
Well, thank God I wasn't the devil. I felt the guy who was the devil was what is it when they're in the circus and they're really flexible?
A contortionist.
He's a contortionist, so he can do.
So he looks freaky.
Absolutely, which is what they wanted.
Yeah,
they wanted those
that's
vibes.
what those kind of scare houses have, isn't it?
Yes.
People just look creepy.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
this devil guy's doing so much cool stuff. It looks great, and they've got lights in the middle of a field, and people are starting to just watch, circling around us. The public are coming in. Yeah, exactly. Suddenly it's getting a bit weird. And then they're like, right, we need the actual worshippers for the devil to come in. And you're like, okay, cool.
Did they use the public?
Oh no! Oh wow! Could you imagine? That'd be immersive, wouldn't
That
it?
would be.
So us audience members coming in to start worshiping the devil have to dance around him and start
Okay, some
touching
sort of like
him.
spiritual dance.
Yeah, so we're feeling up the devil, and this. Yeah, I know, right?
gosh.
Again, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then afterwards, I believe. Thank God, Jill.
You believed in the devil?
No. I believe the exact words were, we're gonna have to start pouring milk on his arms and other bits to sort of.
Sorry, what?
Well, yeah, exactly. This happened recently as well.
Oh.
This is weird. This is just
pouring milk.
Now, obviously, milk's fine, but it's obviously what it also looks like is a bit yummy, bit weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yummy.
Can you imagine 9 o'clock in the morning, the public gathering around, they paid to come to this place, and they can see the devil having
milk
poured on him.
They poured, like rubbed on him, or just
both?
Right.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Anyways, and do you know what? I am so happy because I was already uncomfortable to a degree because I thought.
Oh, really? I'm not surprised.
I mean, I'm always up for film and creativity, always. But I was just like...
Did you hear that, everyone? Jordan's up for anything. That's what I heard. I heard he's up for anything.
God, check out my OnlyFans, guys.
I mean, there's a way to make money.
There's a way to make money. My feet look great. So anyways, but the director said, this guy here, we can use him for the next shot, but we need him out of this shot.
You?
Yeah. So I was like, oh, no, use me for the next shot. Oh, sorry, guys. So I get like, it starts raining slightly, and everyone's just doing this sort of devil dance.
The milk's getting mixed with rain.
Yeah, it's all weird, and people are like, oh, the devil, and I'm indoors like...
Having your coffee, finally?
Having my coffee, finally. So that was weird.
So what was the next scene? Was it as weird?
The next scene was okay. I got to shout at children.
Oh, I mean, anyone that's worked with children, I feel like that's if you get paid to shout at children as a character.
Exactly.
Take it.
They were lovely to work with as well. They were great.
Oh, did you feel bad shouting at them?
Oh,
Lovely kids.
Well, do you know what? They had to start shouting back at me, so I was like, let's have a conversation. I was like...
Give it as good as you get.
Exactly. But the thing is, I was like, what can they shout at me about? Because we don't know each other. And then eventually I was like, what is your favourite dessert? They went, ice cream! I said flavour! And they went, chocolate! And then what do you have? And it looked good. Obviously, people that are doing the lip reading, please
just
don't.
They're
like, why is he shouting ice cream? He's meant to be a witch hunter.
Are we allowed to know what this was for?
Do you know what?
Or maybe
no, well, I have not actually seen it.
Okay.
I think it was from National Geographic. I could be wrong. Yeah, this is the rumour that was said.
No, okay.
It can't be. It can't be. It really can't be. That was the rumour that was circulating.
I'm feeling like it's going to be like some sort of like true crime.
Yes, some recon.
Documentary.
Absolutely.
Not
National Geographic. Sure.
That's too like...
The fact people were saying that.
Surely they're like...
They are.
People.
Of course they're top tier.
Yeah.
They're top tier. They're in America. They're not here.
Who said National Geographic?
I have no idea, but it just circulated on the day. And me being me, I was like...
This is one of the things as well, isn't it, in the industry, that you often sign up for things and you don't actually really know where it's going, what's going to be done with it. You've got an NDA, if you've got one, to be like, I won't talk about this until I'm allowed to, or release date or whatever. But if the pay is good...
Yeah, we're there. We're knocking on the door.
Yeah, I feel like it's like your morals slightly...
They're flexible.
They're flexible. I like
they're
flexible morals.
Because we have them, but unfortunately...
We have them, but they have to bend.
Yes, of course they do.
Because we've got to hustle.
We've got to
work. We've got to make bank.
What is it that saying is? There's always a price. There's always a price.
There's always a price. Well, even with the... Talking of kind of like the devil and Halloween-y stuff, we've just had Halloween.
Of course.
And the show I did for Halloween, we were in like a seance circle.
Yes.
I'm a Christian, so I had, even when I got cast for it, the casting director was kind of like, oh, like, would you be okay doing this? Because I know you're a Christian. I was like, yeah, I'm acting.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't mean I believe in this, and it doesn't mean that I'm welcoming the spirits into this world. It doesn't mean I'm actually summoning, and my character didn't actually summon them. I was being, like, ritualised around and summoned around. And I'm playing a character. As soon as I walk out of that room, I'm shaking it off, and I'm back to thanking God for the opportunity. Do you know what I mean? Literally. Yeah,
God,
exactly.
Goodness me.
But some people get really...
Method? Or...
Yeah,
disturbed to a degree.
I guess so as well. And actually, as a Christian as well, like, people do talk about it, that they can't do anything to do with Halloween and things, and I feel very free within that. Yeah. But I think, again, as an actor, maybe that's just how I am as a person. No. You've got to be, I think, for the opportunity.
Mine is not that. Mine's, it's very intimate scenes.
Right, yeah.
So I don't avoid them, but when they come up, it's just that sort of feeling like, it's weird.
You get the ick.
Yeah, I get the ick. So one came up, and it's a case of I don't mind doing them, but it's got to be such a good price because obviously it's just a bit of a different realm, and the price wasn't there. They wanted me to be. They wanted me to be sort of nude.
What sort of? Jordan?
I think shirt off and trousers off. I don't know if boxers would be on or not, but they also wanted me to make out with. This never happened. This was one of the ones I turned down.
Yeah.
They wanted me to make out with the leading cast.
Okay.
And then they would go, bugger off and do whatever the storyline tells them.
Yeah.
But to me, so my moral is A, money's got to be good.
Yeah.
B, that is not extra work. So this came out as a casting call for extras.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a character. That's a character. And there is another budget for that. So that's why I was like, no, I'm not doing extra work to do those kind of things.
That's like, those things kind of, they ick me.
Yes.
Within that, because you might get someone that's young, new into the industry,
and they'll
wants
do
an
it.
opportunity, and they'll do it.
And they might be fine with that because they've got...
But they might not be. I think that's where it's like a thing, isn't it? But one thing I will say is intimacy coordination is a thing now.
There was an intimacy coordinator.
And I think that is one great step in a good direction.
It is indeed.
That is.
But I just think that's a character, though.
Yeah.
It's not an extra. That's an actual role. And I think...
And it's a role you've got to really...
Yeah.
Put yourself into and be involved in, because everyone's seen a shit sex scene.
Exactly, right.
Or a shit intimacy scene. When it's not.
God, yes.
When it's not being felt by the actor. And
absolutely.
I feel like, we were talking about method earlier.
You talking about Bridgerton?
Those things. I love Bridgerton, but it is all a little bit like...
It is,
a little bit like whimsical, isn't it?
It's whimsical.
I feel like that's the style. That's the style.
Gimmick.
Yeah, maybe. We can tell who doesn't like Bridgerton.
Do you know what? I do like Bridgerton. I do like Bridgerton, but season 3, oh my god, there's so many things I hate about this. The sex scenes I didn't believe in.
This is the thing, I think, because they were just so kind of made so mythical and magical, and I can't think of the word.
Oh god, not Regency.
No, but made like, I don't know,
glorified.
This is not real life. This is not how it would work.
No,
you guys have never had sex before. You've been fumbling around.
Where's the towel?
One of you has. You've been travelling around, but the other has not. And I feel like
their hands are always dry afterwards. It's like, really? Come on. There's not an ounce of sweat on them.
Or if there is, it's like a glistening glow.
It is a glistening glow. Isn't that?
I mean, I completely lost my thread. I don't know where we were.
I just wanted to point another thing I hate about Bridgerton.
Okay.
You've seen season 3, haven't you?
Yes,
the hot air balloon scene.
Oh, I know.
What the heck? The villain and the dramatic music behind this balloon coming out.
And they're all pulling the rope.
They're all pulling the rope. And Penelope's just stuck on the grass because it's sticky grass.
I know.
She can't move. It's a cement. What am I meant to do? And you're just there like, for God's sake, come on.
But again, I do think the style of it, they are playing into that. Damsel in distress, save me. And that's what the people want, Jordan.
And yet we're in an era where we're trying to get away from that. Are we not a little in this day and age? Well, are we retelling history a little? Again,
look at this little feminist.
I'm just saying, that's why I didn't like season 3.
Yeah, I feel like there were... Again, there are things you can if you take it for what it is, and just be like, I'm just going to enjoy this. Yeah. You enjoy it. If you look for flaws, I think when I first started watching Bridgerton, the first season, when everyone was raving about it, even that I was annoyed at bits. Yeah. And I was about how it was like not naturalistic enough and things like that. But then when I actually was like, okay, Becca, take it for what it is.
Yep, just take those glasses off. Take the filter off.
And like I watched the last season when I was just like hungover on a day, and I was like, you know what, this is fine. Yeah. It's what it is. It didn't grab me.
No, didn't spark you.
It didn't spark me. No, not quite. Now, okay, we've spoken about how people describe your job.
Okay,
about what you do.
Yep.
How do you describe what you do? Like, what do you do at the moment? Not what you've done, not what you're going to do. Like, right now, how would you describe, like, your craft, your art?
Oh, do you know what? It's changed so much over the years. So I'd have thought myself, who am I, what I do, be like, I'd love to dive into the meaty roles, to actually go in auditions and things like that. That doesn't happen so often with me now. What I am is a networking, versatile creative who just approaches different companies for work. So the process for me actually getting work's changed.
Mm-hmm.
What I do has changed. I'm more of a presenter of information than I am actor now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can still act. Of course, I'd love to do acting. Of course I can.
I can vouch for that. We acted together.
Thank you. We have plenty of times. But it's just a case of, when I look at the last few roles recently, it's all presenting. It's what it is. There is a bit of fictional storytelling in it, but it's just presenting information. And I don't mind the job. I love doing that what I do. I don't necessarily think I'm good at it either.
Yes, you are.
But it's just, so I would describe myself more as a presenter, content creator.
Yeah.
But I started off as a pure wanting to be an actor going into it.
And was that just a natural shift?
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't seek it out, it just...
Well, do you know what? It happened with each job. Each job, something changed. And I think, because it's been 10 years this year since I started past drama school. So,
exciting.
I know. It's
Welcome
so
to
cool.
the post-10 year club. I'm 11. Yay.
Oh, wait. No. I started drama school 10 years ago. So we're on 9, but it's nearly...
Okay, I'm older than you. Let's just sweep that under the rug.
Yeah. There's only a 10-year age gap between us.
Oh!
Headline post!
No,
Headline post!
there absolutely is not. It's like 2 years. So
2 years.
Anyway, let's carry on.
2 years plus 8. Anyway, so it's literally, I look at the jobs and they just kept changing each job, the things I was doing, and then I was like, I'm enjoying this. I'm happy to do that. And suddenly I started seeking similar work, and now I literally next week I'm meeting with the new clients for YouTube presenting.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. But again, the only reason I've done that is because the last few jobs I've done, I've been presenting. I'm like, well, why aren't I going on Spotlight and just going through the usual TIEs, presenting, touring pantos, touring theatre shows. Elizabeth did say, do you not want to go do a touring show? And I went, no. No.
Do you feel like you've done your time doing that?
Again, I don't know if I'm settling or becoming family man or not yet, because I can still go do those things. Yeah. But I do love making stuff, and I do love that. I think I found a bit of my Jordan, if you will.
Yeah, a bit of your soul actually crafting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, obviously there's absolute worth of being in stuff.
Absolutely.
And being directed, and I sometimes love those gigs because you don't have to think as much sometimes.
No, absolutely.
You can just be an actor and not that you don't have to think. It's obviously very, very tiring to kind of dig deep and get that character. But then when you get the roles, I'm like you, I'm a creator as well. And that is the thing that, gives me a buzz and gives me that kind of, okay, this is where I am and I care about it, so I'm going to get it. Yeah. And I think as well, it's a credit to you for like adapting along your career and actually saying yes to things. I think there's a lot of people in our industry that pigeonhole, maybe not themselves, but get pigeonholed by a casting director or by their agent or by a company that they're working for regularly with performance, and you kind of get told you're this. Yeah, you're one thing, and this is what you've trained your whole life to be. So you've got to stay like that.
That happened to me.
I don't think you do.
No, but that happened to me. My first agent, they said to me, "You're from, what is it, Chronicles of Narnia? What is that character? Is it Edward?" Yeah. Yeah. So you're an Edward. You're always going to be this. You're never going to be the hero. You're never going to be the prince, but you're always this villain.
Underdog.
Sort of. Yeah, exactly. Underdog. There's that villain side to you. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll play along that. Yeah. And for years, I believed that's all my casting was. And I was like, no, it isn't. Of course it isn't. You just saw me like that.
And you played a prince, didn't you? In a panto?
I have played, in a panto.
Or was it TIA?
Actually, no, I have played a prince in a panto, and I have played a prince in a theatre show. There we go. See, I have done them, right? 5'7" and still doing them.
I love that.
Yeah, I've also been told I'm too short.
Okay, well, I've been told I'm too tall. So, again, the industry. So I'm 5'10", and jealous.
I'm so jealous. I love it.
But I've had the same thing, like pigeonholed of being like, you'll never be the princess in a show. You'll never be the kind of the girl that they're all after in a film or a TV program. You are like the, I don't know, the one night stand.
The one night stand.
You're the villain, or you're the kind of the bit.
Who told you the one night stand?
Well, I think they didn't say one night stand.
Okay,
like you're the kind of the girl that they'll just chase and then drop, that kind of thing.
Whoa.
Not in life, Jordan.
Good, I was about to say. I'm hoping that wasn't a read, because I'd be like, girl, turn your page.
I know, literally. But that's like more of like a, you know, if you were in a high school drama or something,
or
Netflix or EastEnders, you wouldn't be the one that's that cute little girl that's being,
it's because you're
girl
height.
next door.
It's your height.
Exactly, it's the height thing.
But that, again, that is also changing with the years.
It is.
It is changing, because I would love to be young again now to go for different castings.
More opportunities, I feel like.
Absolutely. People always, and it's one of the things, the people that moan about this industry, oh, I'm not getting the roles, there's not enough in it. I'm thinking, you don't know what it was like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Things are changing, adapting, and we are becoming much more open with things.
Oh my gosh, it's exciting. We're becoming a lot more fluid.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think, and like what you were saying, we've got to be fluid as well, I think, as performers, to kind of...
To survive.
Well, yeah.
To survive. To change.
What do I always say when everyone's like, you're right? I'm like, I'm surviving, not
thriving.
I'm okay.
I do use that saying now as well. I copyright you, but I love
that, yeah. TM. Back up. Yeah, so it's that kind of, you've got to adapt, you've got to keep fresh yourself, but also I do think the industry is getting better.
It's so much better now.
You mentioned, I just want to touch
upon,
that you kind of go out and get your own work.
Yes.
I do the same.
Yes.
Most of the time, I use my network. I don't kind of wait for things to come to me. How do you find that?
Oh, it's liberating. It's great. But isn't it such a challenge to make such a network?
Oh, God, yeah.
It's the hardest. I think anyone who wants to be an actor, creative director, caster, director, whatever, the hardest part is the network.
Yeah.
Once you've built the threads from the spider's web to actually join in, you know which one to pluck at what time or where the food's coming from.
Yeah.
And suddenly you'll be able to hone in on it. I literally last week had no work booked for next week, and suddenly next week's fully booked.
Yeah.
And I've never been in that kind of position where I can go week on week. I'm like, oh, there's work here, there's work here, there's work here. It's happening.
Yeah.
And it's not me being successful. That is just the hard work being put into doing those favours, doing those, I'll help you out if you help me out. I'll happily do this for you, etc.
Like what we're doing today.
Like what we're doing today.
Yeah, we're using Jordan's kit today.
Yeah. Are you? What? Jesus. Well, yeah, it's been held together by string.
By the park, it's being held together by Frank.
Yeah,
he moves.
And do you know what? He's done so well, hasn't he?
He has. He farted a few times, but apart from that, yeah, unless it's you.
I thought it was you. I thought it smells like a tall one.
Oh my god. Anyway, yes, I think it's that thing, isn't it? Of if you're a grafter, which you've got to be, which brings me on to something we've not touched upon, which I know you're very proud of being. So I'd love to end the podcast today. You describe yourself as a working class actor.
Yes.
Tell me more. Tell me more about that and why you're kind of proud of that.
I mean, because...
As you should be.
God, no, I'm happily proud. Because, again, most people do say that this industry is a bit elitist. And to a degree it is. I mean, but the thing is, even if... Oh, now you want to come up, you sausage.
Sorry, Frank wants lap colour.
He wants it. He's an elitist. If you have money, you can get yourself into the industry and buy your way in to a degree, but talent still will shine through, I think, to a degree. So for me, from a working class perspective, I spent, 10 years in retail whilst trying to do the jobbing actor roles.
Yeah.
And that was hard. That was constantly hard. Then afterwards, I've been doing delivery driver work. Then I've been doing... Do you know what Elizabeth said to me the other day? I don't know what you've not done.
Yes.
And I said...
Oh my gosh, I get that all the time.
Yeah.
People are like, Becca, you've worked everywhere.
Yeah. I've been leafleting, I've done posts, I've worked in hospitality, I've worked at McDonald's at one point.
But don't you think that helps you?
Yeah,
be better in your career?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know when it's the best and I know when it's the worst.
Yeah.
And I know to have measure where I am currently.
Yeah.
And that's because I'm working class. I'm always going to be working.
Yeah.
I'm happy to. And no job's too small, no job's too big.
Yeah.
There's never a job too big.
I mean, yeah, come on, let's be honest, never a job too big.
Yeah.
And I'm the same as you, like I've worked since I was 13.
Yeah.
I babysat, I did a paper round. I probably should not have been babysitting at 13. The world has changed.
The world has changed.
It was like, yeah, a baby and everything. Anyway. But yeah, I did that. And I was very good at it. And since then, I've never stopped working.
Yeah.
You know, even in COVID, I've found ways to work. And I think that's the difference sometimes between jobbing and gigging actors and other industries, working in other industries. It's like, we don't really have a gap.
No, God, there is no gap.
If we have a gap within performing or with directing, if we have a gap within the creative, we fill it with
something else.
Something else. Be that delivery driving,
yes.
Be that babysitting, be that
the cash flow needs to happen.
Exactly.
It can't stop. We're self-employed.
Exactly. You've got to have, and I'm the same as you. I've tailored it a bit now, where
yes.
I mainly work in my industry,
yeah.
which I'm super proud of, because it's taken again like freaking 13 years in total to get to that point,
right?
And of having a steady income from a creative job, as well as being able to do the other ad hoc creative acting gigs as well, which comes with its own balances and trials and tribulations. But I think we got to just work, haven't we?
We have.
And Frank agrees.
I'm sorry that the pug wants to get in on
the...
there.
No, he's so cute. He wants to get in on the chat.
He wants to get on the chat.
But yeah, so I think, well done for you.
Well done to you too.
Yeah,
but isn't that just the thing, that where you just constantly... I do understand what you mean as well, because if we're not working, we are always thinking about the next thing.
I think that's a grapple as well, that I do think our industry needs to get better in the work-life balance. Pay us more. And then we probably would.
Wouldn't it be nice to... And this, again, one of the downsides of being a working class actor, if you will, is... we can't necessarily afford, because you're always seeing those workshops of come and see this caster director. Have you worked on your voice recently? Are you coming in for comedic training, etc.? I can't afford doing those things because
I don't have the time. I'm time poor.
Because so I'm poor, and then I am time poor to a degree. I am actually time poor. Yeah. I'm always busy.
This is the thing. It's like we're time poor because we're working.
Exactly.
And then it's like, when can you come in and do those CPD opportunities?
Yes.
And when you do get to do them, you're like, like the R&D we did the other week.
What a great gig!
When you get to do an R&D
with people that you love working with as well.
Yeah,
that makes it all worthwhile.
And that's what we'll end it on.
That's
today.
what we'll end it on there.
That I think in this industry, you've got to take the good with the bad.
Yes.
And I think you've got to reflect, don't you? And remember when you get something that's good. I think we're very quick to move on to the next thing.
Absolutely.
But being like,
and
you know what?
Never be bitter. Never be bitter.
I love that. Okay.
Never be bitter about other people's success, why you're not doing well, or anything like that. If you want something, go get it. If it's not there, make something.
Yeah.
Build the network.
Make it for yourself.
Make it for yourself.
Create it for yourself.
Yeah.
I said this on another one of my podcasts. What's that saying? Where
don't eat yellow snow. Is that the...
That is not the saying I was thinking of! Comparison is the thief of joy.
Ooh, love that.
There you go. I try and remind myself of that all the time because, I think that is very relevant in our industry.
Do you want one of my sayings?
Okay, if it's long as it's not about yellow snow.
No, not at all. I am a registered flex offender.
On that note, thank you, Jordan and Frank, who is now in shot.
He's in shot.
You've been great.
You've been great as well.
Thank you.
Wait, that's it. Great, not superb.
You've been great. Thank you so much for joining us on Part of the Arts.
Part of the Arts.
And good luck with all of the things you've got coming up.
Thank you, and we'll see each other soon. Work together again soon.
Always.
Always.
Bye.
Bye.